I came here to negotiate for an entire world, but the moment I saw your chains, nothing else mattered.
The hall was silent except for the sound of gold. Coins poured from obsidian pipes along the walls, cascading into mountainous piles that gleamed beneath the pale blue light of the throne room. The air smelled of iron and something ancient, something that did not belong to Earth. Marcus stepped forward, his boots crunching against scattered coins, his hands bound loosely at his wrists. He had been brought here not as a prisoner. He had been brought here as a guest. That was somehow worse. The alien king, Valther, they called him, sat upon a throne carved from the bones of a dead star. His armor was dark as the void between galaxies, each plate etched with symbols no human linguist had ever deciphered. His eyes burned with a cold, silver light, and when he moved, the entire chamber seemed to shift around him, as if space itself bent out of respect. "You are the one they sent," Valther said. His voice did not echo. It absorbed. Marcus nodded. He was a negotiator. The last one Earth had. The three before him had come home broken or not at all. He had been chosen not because he was the best, but because no one else would go. "We have studied your kind," Valther continued. "You are fragile, emotional, easily distracted by beauty and by suffering." He gestured to the gold around them with one long, armored hand. "We offer you wealth beyond the imagination of your world. Enough to rebuild every city your wars have destroyed. Enough to feed every mouth that has gone empty. We ask only one thing in return." Marcus already knew what they wanted. A corridor, a passage through Earth's atmosphere that Valther's fleet could use freely. Unmonitored. Unrestricted. It sounded harmless on paper. In practice, it meant Earth's sky would never fully belong to humans again. He opened his mouth to begin the careful dance of negotiation, the slow back and forth he had rehearsed for months. Then he saw her. She was kneeling to the right of the throne, half hidden behind a pillar of stacked coins. Her skin was the deep blue-gray of a winter ocean, and her long silver hair fell across her face in braided ropes. She wore armor, or what had once been armor. Now it hung from her body like a memory of strength. Around her wrists and ankles were chains. Not decorative, not symbolic. Real chains, thick and ancient, bolted to the floor. Her eyes, when they found his, were not afraid. They were exhausted in a way that Marcus had never seen in a living creature. It was the exhaustion of someone who had stopped counting the years long ago. "Who is she?" Marcus asked quietly. Valther's silver eyes flickered. "She is not part of this negotiation." "Who is she?" Marcus asked again. A pause. The kind of pause that meant the answer was dangerous. "She is a Veil, one of our own kind. She displeased the court 2 centuries ago. She has been here since. 200 years. Marcus stared at her. She did not look away. There was something in her gaze, not a plea, not hope, just a kind of still watching, like someone who had forgotten what it felt like to expect anything. He turned back to the king. "I don't want the gold," Marcus said. The room changed. The guards along the walls shifted. Valther leaned forward, just slightly, the first real movement he had made. "Excuse me?" The king's voice dropped to something that felt like pressure in the chest. Marcus pointed. Not at the mountains of gold. Not at the terms laid out on the obsidian table. He pointed at her. "I want her," he said. "Her freedom. That's my price." The silence that followed was absolute. Valther stared at him for a long, terrible moment. Then, slowly, something moved across his alien face. Not quite amusement. Something colder. Something calculating. "You would trade a passage agreement, the future of your entire world, for one prisoner?" "I'm not trading anything," Marcus said. "I'm setting a condition. You want Earth's sky. Then free her.
Today.
In front of me. She committed treason against the crown. 200 years ago. Whatever she did, she's paid for it. Another silence. Marcus could feel his heartbeat in his throat. He had no leverage, no weapons, no backup. He had nothing but the words coming out of his mouth and whatever nerve had not yet abandoned him. The Violian girl on the floor had not moved. She was watching him with those ancient, tired eyes. And now, beneath the exhaustion, something else was beginning to surface. Something fragile and disbelieving. Vaelthur rose from his throne. He was enormous standing, nearly 8 feet, draped in living shadow. He walked slowly toward Marcus, each footstep ringing against the stone floor. He stopped 2 feet away and looked down. "You are either very brave," the king said, "or very stupid." "Probably both," Marcus admitted. Another silence. Then, unexpectedly, Vaelthur turned to his guards and spoke a single word in his own language. The chains fell. They did not unlock. They did not open. They simply fell apart, as if they had only ever been held together by the king's will. The girl did not move at first. She looked at her wrists. She looked at the empty floor where the chains had been. Then she looked at Marcus. He crossed the room and extended his hand. She stared at it for a long moment, the way someone stares at something they've dreamed about for so long they're no longer sure if it's real. Then she took it. Her hand in his was cold and strong and trembling. "I'm Marcus," he said.
She stood.
Taller than he expected. Her silver eyes found his and held them. "Saravel," she said. Her voice was rough from disuse, like a door opening for the first time in years. Behind them, Vaelthur returned to his throne. The gold still gleamed. The negotiation, somehow, was not over. It had simply changed shape entirely. Marcus had come to save a world. He hadn't expected to save a person first. But as he led Saravel out of that ancient, firelit hall, her steps slow and unsteady, her spine slowly straightening with every inch of distance from that throne, he thought that maybe this was how it always worked. You save one, and that changes everything.